We are back from the strongest man on earth.
Short and sweet intro today, Lassie.
Short and sweet, yes. A long day of travel yesterday. An amazing week, really, over in Colorado for the Shore Classic, Strongest Man on Earth, East versus West arm wrestling, lots of stuff happening. We didn't get a chance to do our wrap-up video.
Wow, we were just tired. We were absolutely ruined.
So we are doing it now. But what a weekend it was, and what a competition.
Oh, it was so good from start to finish. Like, there was a lot of hype leading into this show. You know, some people were disappointed with some of the names missing, but actually, the way it all panned out, I just think it made it so exciting because it was so close from start to finish.
I think that's the key thing. It was such a close competition, so many brilliant performances as well, and all the guys just kept pushing each other. Yeah. You know, one guy would do really well on one event and then falter on the next event. You almost saw every single athlete have at least one event that went badly.
Yeah.
And it just made, I think at one point 6 athletes were within a point and a half of each other.
Yeah, it was absolutely wild. And we didn't know who was going to win right until the end. Yeah. It was exciting.
So we kicked things off with the log for Max. And this was probably my favourite event of the competition.
Yeah, and this is definitely one of the most hyped events before the show started. I think lots of talk about a potential new American record, maybe even a world record on the log.
Yeah, and we did get not 1, not 2, but 3 times we got the American record broken. And, I mean, it was really the battle between Trey Mitchell and Lucas Hatton. Yeah. Lucas looked unbelievable all the way through. Every single lift was incredible. He broke the record initially.
On his second attempt.
Yeah. Trey Mitchell missed his second attempt.
I know, the drama, the absolute drama. Trey then came out, because the log was slipping. A lot of people asking why they didn't use grip shirts. It's not allowed, that is in the rules.
Yep, Brian Shaw is old school, doesn't allow grip shirts.
Yeah, and Trey came out absolutely plastered in chalk for the 3rd attempt, and he got it. But then, of course, Lucas was able to better it. I think it works out 223 kilos
223 kilos for Lucas Hatton. Trey Mitchell ended up on 220. I'll go through some of the other names, because there was some brilliant performances here. Thomas Evans came in with 206 kilos, Tom Stoltman 205, Austin Andrade 202, Andre Foytu, who really struggled on his first few attempts.
It was so dramatic because Andre missed his first one, Austin missed his first 2 attempts and only got his opener on the 3rd.
I know.
It was so dramatic, but it was really exciting.
The response from some of these athletes in the 3rd round was quite incredible. So many were coming with that pressure and just managed to deliver. And the final athlete hit 200 kilos. First time he's ever done 200 kilos in competition, Evan Singleton. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 athletes going over 200 kilos.
Yeah, and lots of guys like underneath that still hitting PBs. Josh and Nick both with a PB there, tying on, I think it was 195 kilos. I think it was 4 guys who just did the opener of 172. Yeah. Not for lack of trying though. It's just
I mean, 172 is still good, but you're going over 200 kilos. We see a lot of people talk about, I've done 200 kilos in training. To do it in competition is very different. And yes, 7 of these athletes hitting over that. Brilliant start to the show. So event 2 was the frame carry into the arm over arm hoist, and straight away the competition flips on its head. Eddie Williams coming in and smashing this event. He had to go almost, I think he was first out.
He was first out, yeah.
Absolutely annihilates it, makes it look easy. And then you've got guys like Lucas Hatton and Trey Mitchell both near the bottom. I mean, Trey was last, yeah. So you had the guys who were right at the top on the first event come in at the bottom or near the bottom on the second event. So that just balanced out the leaderboard completely, didn't it? It did. I mean, you got Eddie Williams taking the win, Evan Singleton with a very solid performance coming second, Bryce Johnson taking 3rd.
Yeah.
Then we moved on to the keg toss, and things were all over the place. We heard some athletes talking about doing a 100-pound keg. This was keg for max weight, so each round it jumped up 5 pounds. This for me, I don't know about you guys backstage, watching on the commentary, the first couple of rounds, it took me a while to get into this. Yeah. It was probably the slowest event of the show.
Well, everyone stayed in for quite some time, didn't they? I think it probably went on a little bit longer than
maybe some bigger jumps next time, just to kind of get through it a bit quicker.
But also you don't want too many ties, so it's hard, isn't it?
No, but maybe just the first few rounds, some bigger jumps, then go to the smaller ones, just to get through the first few rounds a bit quicker, because if you say 3 rounds of everyone getting through every throw, you just like, okay.
It takes a little while, yeah.
But it did get exciting, and it was won by Maxime Boudreau.
And thank goodness, because last year you were singing his praises, Maxime, one of the best throwers here, and he was out first, wasn't he?
I actually mentioned this on commentary. I
Did
was like,
you?
yeah, I must have put a curse on him last year.
Yeah.
But he is a great thrower, and he's come back and proven that this time round. There was athletes talking about £100 going over. In the end, it was £80 that won. Maxime taking that outright win, and then we had a number of athletes joint in second place.
So unfortunately, I feel this is where things became difficult for Lucas Hatton in terms of contending for the overall win. He was one of the earlier athletes out. So with everyone, with the likes of Evan Singleton still being really consistent in this event, I feel that this is where it got hard for certain people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's when you've got an event with 16 athletes, there's so many points that can kind of...
To lose
or to gain as well.
Yeah.
So you do have the chance to kind of come back. Yeah. But it's always tough when you have a few bad events.
Definitely. So then they moved on to the Manhood stones. Now, this event was the centre of controversy last year with so many guys zeroing. Now, we did see some guys falter once again this year. Overall, though, the performances were much better, I feel. We did have guys hit PBs on this set of stones as well. I know Tristan.
It was interesting because we did see some athletes do worse than they did last year, but other athletes came and did much better. Yeah. So I don't think there was any major issues. I did hear some athletes complaining about certain things. The referees were around checking certain stones. I think in the heat of battle, it's easy to let things get to you.
Yeah.
But in this type of event, if a stone doesn't go well, you can't really mess about. You need to move on and focus on points. Some of the athletes did a great job of that, thinking, okay, I think Trey Mitchell I was impressed with, because obviously he had the advantage of coming in a little bit later than some of the guys, but he didn't try and do anything, he didn't try any heroics.
No.
He focused on reps on the 500-pound stone and got himself good points.
Bryce Johnson, though.
Bryce made it look easy.
Yeah, so he was the only man to get any reps on the 550-pound stone, which he did twice. Technically, maybe not the best. But that man is built to lift stones, isn't he? He's an absolute giant. He's got a massive frame, massive arms. Once he's stood up a bit, he's kind of at the height anyway.
I think we've got to give him credit as well. He got his tacky right.
Yeah.
Sometimes this is an issue. Sometimes when you're really good at stones, you don't worry so much about tacky. But he was, if you saw his hands beforehand, the tacky was sticking. I don't know which kind of tacky he used, but he got it right. And it was like rock solid and had the strength to lift it as well.
Yeah.
So fair play to Bryce taking a win on that event. Trey Mitchell coming in second, 4 reps on the 500. 4 reps on 500 is
insane, yeah.
Absolutely
Austin Andrade
crazy.
Was third.
Yeah, Austin Andrade. And now Austin was probably the most controversial because he was the one that was complaining most about the 550 slipping. He did lift the 550 the year before, so he knows he's capable. However, I was like, Austin, I was in the commentary thinking, just move, because you can get this one. And luckily for him, he still managed to get 3 reps. So I think he could have done more.
Yeah, I'm sure
if he didn't waste that time, sort of.
It's one of those things, though, in the heat of the moment. I did see some criticism, but I promise you guys, every single guy has, been upset in the moment in competition at some point. And sometimes it's off camera.
The thing we should point out is that every athlete was allowed their coach to go out there, inspect the stones, put tacky on the stones, dry the stones. So no one has any excuse in that respect.
This event, unfortunately, absolute disaster for Maxime Boudreau, who won the event right before that.
Maxime's whole comp was either on an absolute
winning
high or an absolute low.
But it just goes to show he has some incredible events. It's a shame, though, because stones are one of his best events.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he just kind of...
He just, I think, fumbled it a little bit. And then he moved on anyway, rather than...
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing his plan was to... I can't remember what it was. I think it was the 500. I think he fumbled that. He did get it to the...
And then he tried the 550.
And then he tried the 550. Then he ended up going back. And it was just...
Well, he went 500, 550, 500,
450. Oh, I was all over the place.
And ended up not lifting any of them.
Yeah.
But we know he's capable. It's just one of those events. Do you take the risk and go too heavy? Or do you play it safe?
Yes.
And, unfortunately for Maxime, didn't work out. So Tom Stockman last year on this was, he ended up zeroing this event. So tactically, he went much safer, got himself a rep with a 500 this time to secure the points. I was watching from the commentary. His coach was out there getting tacky exactly where he wants it to be. I will say, he has a nasty bruise on his arm.
Oh, his arm is a mess. Yeah,
I'm not sure. I don't even think he knows what he's done with it. He can move his arm, so I don't think there's any rupture or anything like that, but there's clearly a lot of bruising and some kind of issue. And I didn't know this until the next day, because obviously, I'm not backstage.
Well, it actually happened before they came out, and it just got worse and worse with each event, it seems.
So I don't like making excuses, but there's clearly some kind of issue for Tom.
Yeah.
Still got a rep this time, not what he wanted to place. I mean, I thought Tom was coming in. He was my pick to win the whole competition. I had him, especially after this first day. I thought these first 4 events were really, he couldn't have asked for better events.
No.
Unfortunately, didn't go his way. These things happen in competition, but
and it was Trey Mitchell who was leading after day 1, which made me very excited because he was my pick. But also there was a grip event in there, and Trey came last on it. Yet still,
that's the thing. I mean, with that frame carry in the medley, the frame into the arm over arm, I thought, okay, that is going to really cost him. It did cost him. Yet he finished the day in first place, and with day 2 coming up, he looked like a heavy favourite.
Yeah.
So day 2 kicked off with the trap bar deadlift, and we expected to see big, thick set, powerful leg, powerful back guys do well on this, and it really was the case. And if you look at the top 5, it really was Austin Andrade, Trey Mitchell, Thomas Evans, Evan Singleton and Lucas Hatton were your top 5. For me, the standout was Evan Singleton.
Evan's reps were so good. They were so fast.
He was so explosive.
He was. And I saw a comment online that I thought, yeah, that sounds about right. And they mentioned that it's like Evan's finally been able to utilise that power that he has for deadlifting without concern about the setup so much, because Evan, like the amount of times I've watched him at the Deadlift World Championships, he's so aggressive. The bar's not even at his shins yet when he starts pulling, so he puts himself in a weaker position.
This setup just suited him perfectly.
It did.
Very aggressive, very powerful, and he's clearly come into this competition well prepared.
Yeah, in really good shape.
He was looking fantastic, and day 2 on paper looked like a much better day for him as well. So it was a great start to the contest. Lucas Hatton, I think, as expected, this type of deadlift to suit his legs are almost like hydraulics. The thickness and the power in those legs. So both of them tied, but I will say Evans moved quicker.
Yeah, Evans, I felt like Evan could have gone heavier, definitely.
No, I agree. And then we had Thomas Evans, just superb.
He was so solid throughout the whole competition. And then lots of other guys as well, PBing on this event. It was exciting.
Eddie Williams did really well because he failed his opener. Jumped in at 420 kilos, failed it just with balance, maybe got his straps in the wrong position. Came back and got it. There was some real good performances.
A few guys struggling with just the balance point and maybe overcorrecting slightly and that kind of thing.
I think we probably should point out at this stage that Shane Flowers and Bobby Thompson both pulled out of the competition from day 2. Now we move on to, they called it the safe lift. It was a super yoke with 2 gun safes attached either side. They had to go through 2 rounds. So it was a 1,200 pounds first round. The athletes that managed to complete the distance then went on to the 1,400 pound round. It was only 6 meters, so it's not the biggest distance.
30-second time limit.
30-second time limit, but heavy. Just heavy yoke. And someone that didn't seem to make it look heavy was Tristan Hoth.
Do you know what? If you'd have asked me, gun to my head, who would win the yoke? Tristan wouldn't even enter my thought. I love Tristan, but he just really surprised me on this.
Well, again, I was thinking, especially for the heavy yoke, the big, thick set guys, big midsection, big, powerful legs. And he was probably one of the lightest guys in the contest.
He's certainly not one of the biggest. Or you'd think an Evan who has proven on yoke time and time again as well.
So, I mean, Tristan just destroyed everyone. His time on the heavy yoke was faster than most people's times on the slower yoke. Did the whole thing in 11.85 seconds, which is just fantastic. Austin Andrade came in second with a good time of 17.94. They were the only 2 to finish. And then
it doesn't surprise me though. I didn't expect many to finish that.
I mean, it shows you how brutal it was, but it just shows you how impressive Tristan was on this event. You got Lucas Hatton coming in third with the furthest distance. Bryce Johnson again with a great performance. Again, another great performance from Thomas Evans, and then Evan Singleton picking up good points again. Now, Evan looked rapid with the lighter yoke. The heavier one started to slow him down. I did expect that, but still good points again from Evan Singleton. So making a return from 2 years ago was the standing chest press. It's an amazing contraption. These barrels coming in, and the athletes that had experience on this, it was an advantage because we did see a number of guys doing better than they did the first year.
So this this event wasn't without drama there. We were a couple of athletes in. I think it was on Eddie Williams' go that it first happened, 2 barrels loaded instead of 1. Then it happened again to Wesley Dowinski. It's such a shame as well because talking to like some of the equipment guys out back, and they were saying we tested that 60 times last night, and every single time it worked perfectly.
They got it sorted pretty quickly, and then it did work perfectly as well after that.
Yeah.
So there's 8 kegs. Obviously, it gets heavier with each keg, and if you get all 8, then you can rep out. The previous best we've ever seen on this was Brian Shaw, who managed to do 2 reps on the 8th keg. Thomas Evans was in that same competition, and he managed to do all 8 as well. But they were the only 2 that had ever done the whole run. This year, though, Trey Mitchell improved by 2 kegs. He went 6 last time, came back and did 8 this time. Evan Singleton managed to get 2 reps on the 8th keg. His pressing just continuing to get better. Thomas Evans, again, proving how good he is on this type of event. He managed to get 9, so he got 2 reps on the 8th keg.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough to take the win because Lucas Hatton came in and did 3 reps on that 8th keg, showing again, when it comes to any type of press, Lucas Hatton is the man.
Yeah. No real surprise at all with the names up there, though. We expected it to be these big... I say barrel-chested. I don't consider Evan a barrel-chested guy, though. So
he's got a massive... You know, when you see Evan in person, he's got a lot.
He's just
of muscle.
massive.
Big, huge, strong guy. And then the final event was the medley, which was a front carry into power steps that were all made from oil rig parts.
Yeah, and this, oh my goodness, the front carry, it was kind of like a crucifix style. It was like a cross, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But it was the nastiest piece of equipment I've ever seen. The amount of like nodules and lumps and bumps, like so many of the guys couldn't even pick it up out back because you need to be competition mode fired up.
I think just the way it's
so painful.
Built, you know, wherever you put your hands, something's going to be digging into you painfully.
Yeah, like edges and pressing all over your body, all over your arms.
And if you think as well, how tough this competition, this is the 8th event of a brutally heavy competition. Your body's aching already. So it was a nasty implement to just put in just to annoy them before the power stairs.
And the power stairs wasn't really any better because it was so wide and so thick. It was almost the depth of the step. So they really had to get it right. Because again, there's things sort of protruding off of this thing. If you get it wrong, you're going to end up hooked onto the step. It was
so I think coming into this event,
hard.
It looked like a battle at this point between Evan Singleton and Lucas Hatton.
Yeah.
I think, was it a point and a half between them?
See, I thought it was just 1 point.
Maybe it was.
Yeah,
there
I'm
was
sure.
Some confusion with the scoring beforehand.
The scoreboards didn't stay up for long either, so you blinked and you missed it.
But it was come down to these 2, and really, I think it would have been whoever
won out of it.
Well, Lucas, if he won, would be outright winner.
Yeah.
And Evan needed someone to place between them.
Yes, that's correct. Now, there was a tiebreaker event planned. I only know because I asked Kerry what happens if they tie, and she was like, I don't know, and she was checking. There was a tiebreaker event planned, but we didn't need it in the end.
We didn't need it in the end. I mean, firstly, another win for Maxime Boudreau.
Yeah.
His up-down kind of competition. He said, like, he's guaranteed to come top 4 on it. He absolutely smashed it. And again, 3 times in this competition, the first person or first pairing that went out was the decisive winner.
Was the best one. Yeah. It's interesting.
And that shows how competitive this contest was, because you were getting different winners of each event, but people kind of going all over the place.
Yeah, because if you think of the top 3 in that event, it was Wesley Dowinski was 2nd place, Nick Guardione in 3rd, the earlier ones.
So as we said, the big battle was the last pairing of Lucas Hatton and Evan Singleton. Evan Singleton doing what he needed to do, maybe not quite as quick as we've seen him on these power stairs in the past. His body was probably absolutely feeling it at this point, but he did what he needed to do. Lucas Hatton dug deep, really worked hard, managed to get the finish, but Bryce Johnson got between them, which meant Evan Singleton became the champion. First time in his career, the strongest man on earth. He is on a absolute tear right now.
He is. And this is his, Evan has a good run of international competition wins, but this is his first world level title.
Not first world level. This is his first major.
Yeah, major. Yeah. Well, it's a world title though, isn't it? Strongest man on earth is a world title.
Yeah, I don't want to discredit his wins in other shows.
No, and
but this is like one of the top 4 comps that we look at.
First major.
First major.
Yeah.
Amazing win for Evan. He looked. It was, I don't know if you saw it, but on the commentary, I was watching the interview with him and Brian at the end, and there's quite a sweet moment of like you can see Evan's tearing up and Brian sort of wiping the tear off.
Yeah, Evan was in bits. He was really emotional. Yeah,
and very, very happy to see Evan take the win. He's been working hard. He's a heart on his sleeve type of guy.
Very much so.
When he's down, when he's happy, and it's so good to see. I always enjoy seeing someone come back from.
Adversity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, World's Strongest Man went really bad for him, but last year was a tough year for Evan.
Yeah, he didn't get the results that he wanted.
Injuries,
he was third at Worlds
illnesses,
last year, but after that, it wasn't great for him.
He showing what he's capable of. He's maturing as an athlete all the time. You're seeing much more composed Evan at times,
and he just seems in such a good place mentally compared to last year as well.
That's a big thing. So it's great to see. The whole competition was amazing. I was so impressed by so many of the athletes.
Yeah.
Bryce Johnson, that guy is the real deal. When it comes to these powerhouse competitions, he is absolutely incredible.
Came 5th overall, didn't he? And there's so many people saying, he shouldn't be invited.
Yeah.
I get it based on results on paper, but I think Brian was really looking at athletes that he felt could excel in this type of competition.
Bryce Johnson just a few weeks ago won the North American Championships. He's come to this, secured that with a top 5 position. Thomas Evans was fantastic all weekend.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about Thomas Evans because maybe he's certainly not the most outspoken. He's a very mild-mannered person.
He's not Mr.
Not a big
social media
guy,
like that, no.
But a beast of a competitor and someone that just keeps banging on points. I guess the thing is he doesn't have anything that he excels at so much. So you don't see him winning events, but he's always there picking up points.
I've seen him win log ladders against the best guys.
He has at Worlds. But what I'm saying is he's not like someone you look at and think, Tom's going to win stones or,
No.
He's not one of those guys that you always pick to win certain events.
No, but he's not losing any events either,
that's,
is he?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. His consistency was unbelievable. Lucas Hatton, he had those 2 events that cost him points in the frame carry and the keg toss.
Yes.
Other than that, flawless performance, incredible log pressing. I believe that Lucas and Trey Mitchell could push the world record.
I agree with you, yeah. Trey actually struggling much more with the clean than the press.
Is more,
once it's on his shoulders, I'm sure he can press almost anything.
Yeah, absolutely. But in the end, Evan Singleton is your champion. He did so well, thoroughly deserved. It was an amazing contest.
It was.
I think from the backstage, the way the athletes were treated, the organisation, the stream, everything seemed to come across really well. I think it gets better every single year. Brian and Kerry doing an amazing job, and hopefully, we get invited back next year to be part of it because it was so much fun.
So obviously this video has been nothing but spoilers, but if you do still want to watch it and you didn't purchase the pay-per-view, it is still available on the shawclassic.com website. It's worth it as well, I think.
Definitely worth it. Get yourselves across there, purchase it if you haven't seen it already. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. There's still lots more Strongman to come this year. Very, very soon is the Deadlift World Championships.
Yes.
Got that to look forward to. Some of the guys that were competing in this show will be there as well. As always, if you enjoyed the video, like, share and subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you guys next time.